Yes, folks. Today I want to play an interview between Peta Credlin, Alan Jones, and Israel Folau. But first, I want to play a very clever message, a well-coached message that Israel Folau imparted yesterday.
Today.
Very, very disappointed about the outcome today, but I'd like to thank all those that have supported me throughout this time, and I'll continue to stand up for the freedoms of all Australians.
Yes, folks, I will continue to stand up for the freedoms of all Australians, he said. Now contrast that with the message Rugby Australia is imparting. Shut up, people, your freedoms don't count. Anyway, now to the interview. And as you listen, folks, you'll clearly see that the left have taken Israel Folau completely out of context. There is no hate or intention of hate in the man.
I should point out that so many people have said, and they write, and they say, look, you must hurt the feelings of people by mentioning them, mentioning various categories of people like homosexuals, and that you would have added to their, I'm just reading from one letter, their existing feelings of unworthiness. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, look, like I said, the Bible and what I believe comes out of that is very important to me, and as a Christian, I feel like it's my duty to be able to share that, and that's part of who I am and what my purpose is, which is, it comes from, I guess, a passage from the Bible stated in Mark 16 verses 15 and 16, and certainly comes from a place of love, and it's nothing personal, and just wanting to share that message of love that God is really trying to extend that to all people.
And folks, that's where I think Israel's lawyers will win. What Israel said was coming from love, not hate.
And if someone said to you, Israel, what you've said has hurt me, what would you say to them?
Oh, look, I can certainly, see it from both sides, and like I said, if I had a child that was a drug addict, I would certainly still love my child, without anything attached to that. It's something that I'm trying to share in love, and that's the way I look at it with in terms of sharing the Bible and the passages with my fellow men each day.
Did you ever agree with Rugby Australia to not send the tweet in question?
No, I didn't.
Did they ask you to remove it?
Yes.
Did they offer you money if you removed it?
Yes.
Yeah, Rugby Australia is denying that. But who do you believe?
And you said?
I said no. I couldn't do that as a person that's convicted by my faith. I couldn't live with that.
Why would players say? Sorry, Peter, please.
Asking you to remove it and paying you to remove it, is that because they wanted the problem to go away and they wanted to then say there was an admission that you did the wrong thing? Was that how they'd sell it?
Yes, that's how they looked at it, and I felt like I was backed into a corner, into a boundary where I was put into one side that I had to compromise in order to agree to what they were asking, but in the end, like I said, I couldn't do it because my faith to me is what's most important.
Why would players say they feel they can't trust you anymore?
Oh, Alan, that's something that I'm really trying to understand, and to be honest, I don't know the answer to that.
What do you think is your relationship with your teammates?
Look, I'd like to think it's very good. I've played with a lot of these guys for a number of years now, and I've had some really, really good times with them, both on and off the field, and I've really enjoyed my time playing with them. But again, it's everyone's entitled to their opinions and how they feel about it.
Your Pacific Island teammates support you, don't they?
Yeah, they do. You know, a lot of them, you know, share the same beliefs and the faith, and you know, I guess they can totally understand where I'm coming from and why I'm sharing what I'm sharing. So, you know, they've been really good.
You've been vilified and humiliated and punished for speaking out. Do you think some of your other Polynesian teammates are frightened to speak out and frightened to say, I support Israel?
Look, you know, they may be thinking that. You know, I can't, you know, speak on their behalf, but you know, again, to me, like I say, you know, they've been very supportive over the last couple of months, and you know, to me, like I said, my faith is the most important thing to me.
Peter, you and I were talking before we came on air about Israel's wife.
Yeah, and I've said this week, Israel, you know, we are long past the days where women are a chattel of their husband, right? But I was really perturbed to see how hard some in the media and indeed some sponsors have tried to attack Maria. These are your views, not necessarily her views. She has posted support for you as her husband. Should she be sacked, do you think, because of this? I mean, this is where it's headed. How's that been for her in particular?
Look, it's been extremely hard for her, you know, she's been dragged into this situation unexpectedly, and it's been very frustrating for her, you know. So, but you know, I'm very lucky that she's a strong woman. She's you know, same as me, convicted by her faith, and you know, she's continuing to march on and stay strong.
How do you? What I often ask you this question. Israel and I talk regularly. How do you feel? How have you maintained your strength and your calm in all of this? You haven't dignified a lot of this stuff by responding to it. What is the most important thing to keep you able to endure what's being thrown at you?
It just goes back to my faith. Like I said, it's the most important thing to me. Together with, you know, the amount of support that I've been receiving from the general public, but to me, you know, all the backlash that I've received, it's been no surprise. You know, it says that, it states that in the Bible. You know, as a Christian and following after God's word, that you will encounter those things. So it's keeping me strong.
People like Bernard Foley, you've played a lot with Bernard Foley. He says you've hurt the game. Nick Phipps was made captain of New South Wales before their final match. He was blaming you for their season coming to nothing. Michael Hooper, the Australian captain, seems to be saying he wouldn't play with you. Does that surely must upset you? Does that cut at you, or do you just let that wash over you?
Oh, look, I simply let that wash over. You know, I've got no hard feelings towards those guys. Like I said earlier, you know, I've had some really good you know, moments with those guys, both on and off the field. And again, like I say, that, you know, they're entitled to opinions just as much as I am.
Drew Mitchell, he played with you. Drew Mitchell said to you, you're in a fight that you chose to be in after you broke the terms of your contract. I'm not sure that Drew Mitchell would have seen your contract, but he posted a picture of an ill child on social media. And he said the kids below are in a fight they never wanted to be in. And yet you think you deserve donations more than they do. It's no longer about religion, Israel. It's about you and your greed. Now, it's a pretty bitter message. Has he ever spoken to you or rung you or picked up the phone and talked to you?
No, he hasn't.
And have you ever said you deserve money more than sick kids do?
No.
You've maintained your silence, but have you ever said that we shouldn't contribute to ill and injured children?
No.
How do you feel about that, though?
Yeah, look, again, Alan, it's hard to understand, you know, but I guess it's something that doesn't surprise me. But, you know, I've got no animosity towards guys like Drew, who's a former teammate.
You're heading to the Fair Work Commission tomorrow?
Yes, yeah.
The last time you went to that tribunal, I remember you telling me that you were just overwhelmed by all this legal talk. It's pretty intimidating stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. You know, as you know, I'm no expert in law, but you know, I've got a great legal team behind me, and they're doing a great job.
You understand, I mean, Peter and I have talked about this. This is a big issue beyond Israel Folau, isn't it? This is a freedom of speech issue, a freedom of religious worship. That's why the nation is watching this, isn't it?
And I also also have to make a point about your employment contract, Israel, and I listened carefully to what you said to Alan there as well. A lot of Australians don't like the idea that employers could put in a contract that you sign for work, that they then own your political views or your religious views outside your work. I mean, even if some might say there were clauses in your contract about bringing the game into disrepute, there are plenty of footballers who do the wrong thing. You quoted the same book that we all hold up in our hand if we swear in court, swear to tell the truth. So this isn't a matter of an employment contract. This is also a lot of people around Australia who vehemently disagree with what you posted, but are absolutely behind you 200% and put their money there as well.
But is that in your contract? Is there anything like that in your contract?
No.
No. I mean, I just noted today, there are people playing the game who've belted women, they've taken drugs, they've trafficked in drugs, they've danced naked on balconies, they've belted people up, they've driven while drunk. They're continuing to play the game. You're quoting from the world's most read book, and you're banned for life.
Alan, it's hard to understand, you know. It's, you know, I'm trying to take all these things. It certainly hurts, yeah, for sure.
So what's the most important thing for you now, going forward?
Look, you know, it starts tomorrow with the commission heading there. You know, I'm hopeful for an apology from them.
Yes, and as we saw yesterday, folks, no apology came. And folks, we clearly saw there that the guy has no malice in him. But we simply cannot say that about Qantas or Rugby Australia. And folks, I've also posted a link to the entire Sky News segment simply because Alan Jones gave a great preamble to the interview.